Got a lot of respect for what Dan Quinn's done out there. Good program. They've gotten some injuries, some things that they've been trying to overcome here, and really no different than us, though, coming off a loss and getting back on their feet. We're getting back on our feet and clean things up and find a way to be competitive and get the win. Questions?
Just to clean up yesterday's trade deadline stuff, the way you had talked about it leading into it, you did not anticipate, any activity. I'm just wondering, how much did you even hear from Brad regarding trades throughout the day yesterday?
Yeah, there was things that popped up. There was, it was really after I talked to you guys, then we started getting some, there was some things here and there, but it was just, there was nothing that was, I would say, enough to be noteworthy, it was certainly more intriguing, but it wasn't good enough. All good, man. We're ready to roll.
Dan, what did it do for the guys that you obviously believe in, maybe that people haven't seen yet, that you believe that they can do it instead of giving up a 6th or 7th round pick for somebody else who might be able to?
Well, look, I go back to that, man. You know your own guys. You've been around them. You've seen them. You know the greatness behind them. You know their warts too, and we all got them. You know what I mean? So. I don't mean that physically. I don't know. I maybe have one of them. But my point is, you know some of the good, the strengths, some of the weaknesses, how they're made, you know how they react under pressure, what they're like every day in practice when they haven't gotten an opportunity, but they want one. You see all these things, and as long as they're continuing to grow and get better, then our trust goes up in those guys. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect but yet it gives you faith in those guys. And, until further notice, they'd have to prove us wrong. They get an opportunity, then fine, prove us wrong. If we do, we'll move on to the next guy. But I think that helps when you're around these guys for a long enough time, training camp. Here we go. These guys on vet squad. We've got some guys who've been here for a while now. And so they've been trained a certain way. They understand what we want, what we're looking for, how to play the game. And so I think it gives them confidence, yeah.
Just one more thing on that. I don't know if there's any, feeling of missed opportunity inside. I know fans feel that way at 4:00. Nothing happens. Yeah. But just how do you like sort of this is a group now going forward? So
yeah, dude, I feel good. I'll say this again. My job is to freaking get these guys ready to play on Sunday, and I've got the roster to do it. We got depth. We got the dudes. We got weapons. We got a quarterback. I got to do my part. I got to do my job, and I got to get them ready, and I got to make sure we cross all the T's, dot the I's. And man, we turn over every stone and make sure our guys are ready to roll, and we help them get ready to roll. So, man, I'm good. I feel great. I really do.
And you do know about Brad Holmes better than any of us do. We know where he came from with the Rams and Les Snead and the F them picks kind of mentality. Do you ever think that he might ever take a F them picks approach and just give multiple picks up for high impact, high intensity players? Because a lot of fans are thinking about that.
Well, I think that, man, if everything about it was right, when you start talking like that, like throw all the picks away, that's a lot. It's a lot of capital, especially with the guys that we've got that we're signing and we want to continue to sign to keep what we have intact. Now you're not only you're throwing the picks, you got to pay that player too, probably. Otherwise, why are you throwing all the picks at a guy that you're buying him for a year? And so then it really kind of everything that we planned for, you just might as well throw it in the trash, So I don't want to say never. There's not a never. Look, Brad and I have had conversations about this. Isn't like we just say, well, what if? No, we're not even going to talk about that. We talk about everything. We do. We sit there and we've thought about that before. What if we did this, this, and this? These conversations come up, but he and I both agree that that this is how we proceed, man. This is how we go about our business, and we have a long-term approach. But I'll never say never.
With the offensive line, you got two guys on IR that we haven't heard from for a while, Miles and Gio. Just kind of curious if either of those guys are kind of part of the future plan.
We start Miles' clock today. All right, so he's going to start practicing today. First one back. And there again, he's no training camp, no nothing. So this will be, a little bit of a baby fawn. at the beginning, and then he'll quickly go. It's a little bit like Mahogany. It took a while, but once we got him, man, he just quickly grew. He got with practice reps. So we'll start him, and then who was the other one? I'm sorry. Gio's still a few weeks out. Okay, so I don't see us starting him, within the next week or two. But he is getting better. He will be ready at some point here, I think. There again, we'll see. But yeah, it's good to get Frazier back. So there's somebody else here in the hopper we get eyes on. We liked him in the draft process, like the way he is, but we don't know a lot about him yet in the NFL level. He just needs reps, right, in practice.
Outside of just getting a victory, obviously you want to see a victory, but what are you looking forward to seeing out of the team this week? Like, is there something in particular maybe you're stressing, or what are you looking to see in this bounce back?
Man, I just want to see us play our brand of football for 60 minutes. Our style, man. I want to see us line up. I want to see the urgency, the intensity. I want to see the focus. I want to see the finish on the football, offense, defense. I want to see our playmakers making plays within the scheme, within the system. I want to see our coaches coaching at a high level, man. I want us playing, coaching on a championship level, and more than importantly, man, I want to play a hell of a lot better than we did last week, man. We need to amp this thing up and clean this up, man. Let's play disciplined football for 60 minutes. Doesn't have to be perfect. Not looking for perfect. Let's clean some of this stuff up.
Just on the radio yesterday, the possibility of mixing up the offensive line. How do you plan on reaching that decision? Is there anything you're trying out, I guess, first and foremost?
Well, I think we'll start right now. As usual. All right, Yodi goes in, and then we may start putting Cologne in some spots here and move these guys around today and tomorrow. So we'll start as we've kind of ended that game the other day, and then let's maybe we start moving some pieces around. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Doesn't mean that I will do it, but I'd like to do it today, at least a play or two, and see what that looks like. See where we're at. Maybe some walkthrough reps.
What are some things that you could do schematically to assist Jared with pass protection and maybe, even just with concepts and routes and such?
Well, I think, some of what happened the other day was, I'm going to bring this up again. This was our own doing, man. We opened up this can of worms ourselves because we really had a bust, all right? And so now you open up Pandora's box. You miss it, and they're like, oh, well, they can't pick it up. Well, now all of a sudden, you finally pick one up, and now we get edged on one side of it, and then pretty soon you're starting to get this interior pressure. And so, we created this own issue. The protections are sound. Can we do things better? Yes, we can. And there'll be a couple of things we tweak. But as far as we did a lot to that to ourselves. And golf's going to be fine. All right, golf's he can see it, he knows it, he studies, he knows what he's getting, when he's getting it. Doesn't mean they're not going to change it up. If I'm them, I'd change some stuff up for sure. But we'll be prepared, and it'll be good.
Follow up on Nolan's question: are you considering at all moving Graham to guard and playing Tristan?
I've considered everything. Yeah, I've considered everything.
That's one of the things that you might look at this week.
Yeah, good.
Just to be clear, when you say that nothing Brad brought to you was good enough to be noteworthy, do you mean the price wasn't good enough, or the personnel wasn't good enough?
These are solid players, but when we make a move, you got to check all the boxes, right? So I can sit there and say, yeah, I like him, he's a solid player, but I told him I don't even want that getting to me if it doesn't make sense from a financial, from a value standpoint, from what we're looking for. Then I don't even want to. So that thing gets filtered, which I appreciate. I don't want to deal with all that until we know we're serious about it. And the rest, then it's it. He checks all the boxes, all right? He checks that box, and then we start watching. We look, the type of person will he fit in this locker room, type of player. What does he look like next to this player? Does he elevate this player? Or is it really not, yeah, he's a little better, but is it really worth that for what you're giving up versus the next guy we have ready to go as the backup that's coming off a vet squad? Those most of the time are the ones that we are like, well, no, I don't think so. And we've been pretty good so far. It doesn't mean it's perfect, but that's just how we feel.
With Frazier, what did you guys like most about him coming out of LSU? And is he someone that you think could step in at some point in the next month or so once he gets his legs beneath him?
Well, he's versatile. He can play the guard. He can play tackle. He did both of those at LSU. He was a guy, man, he can sustain blocks. He's got power. He's pretty tenacious. He finishes. You know, I mean, he was kind of the guy that just, you look around and you're like, this guy just always makes blocks. He's just always on his guy. And he's just always finishing down the field. And, you know, if he does get beat, it's never fast. Guy has got to try to freaking bull him, finally get an edge. Quarterback's holding on to the ball, and it's a late, you know, something late. Like, those are the things you want to see, man. He takes good angles at the second level. So there's a lot of things that we like about him. He's going to need reps, you know.
I just want to ask about Terrion. You know, he had his first career pick the other day.
Yeah.
You know, he was talking about following that play all the way to the ground. He had a nice pass breakup on the goal line. Was that maybe a step forward for him in some ways, just making some plays?
It was good to see the coverage aspect. That was good, man. That was encouraging. I thought he played with confidence. I thought he challenged. Man, I thought he was to that point playing the ball in the air, going after the football. So covering the man, playing the football, playing sticky coverage, challenging. And that aspect was good. That aspect of it was good.
Anything else, though, that he needs to still work on?
No, that aspect was awesome.
I know there's not a lot of room for empathy in your job, but Dan Quinn, what he went through, you know, regretting that he left a player in. I mean, you've sat in that seat before. Do you feel for another coach?
Yeah, I do. You can't second guess that. Look, that's me. You know, you can't. I mean, it just got back, you know, and I'm sure get him in a rhythm, a flow. It's, you know, so I think it's hard to second guess that, you know, and I know hindsight, all this and that, but yeah, I do feel for him, you know, but I don't feel like he should have to feel that way, you know, trying to get your guy going back in a rhythm, and man, it's unfortunate. I hate that for JD, man. That's tough, but you know, it's not his fault.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dan.